I mean, we need to get a proper plan. I mean, this real plan with the, 100 plus units still with the condo buildings.
Right.
And
while we're here, explain what we're looking at, and then tell me how different what they're doing is going to be from this.
So here we have Sachem's Path. Sachem's Path has distinctly different houses. If you look at them, they are distinctly different. They aren't all facing the same direction on a little mini grid street. We have areas over here for drainage. That's all those trees and all these swales over here is going to help the pitch. We have.
Are some of these trees going to get pretty good size? Is that the idea?
They will get good size. Yeah, absolutely. But there's also all around. There's a buffer around here. But if you notice, the houses are just angled differently around here. They're different. They have a little character and style. Mm-hmm. The roads are much wider.
What they're proposing doesn't at all match this?
They are maximizing their profit. No, not at all. I can't remember. This is maybe. I can't remember the units per acreage, but next door is like 3 times the units per acreage. So it's going to be 3 times denser than this. 3 times dense than this. And I think and the units is just, still 100 units.
How many are here?
I can't really remember the exact numbers. 36.
That's all? It seems like there's more than that.
1, 2.
You might be right, though. Might be right. No more than 50, right?
Right.
And they're doing how many?
Over 100. But you have the condos, which are going to be a huge part of it. But then you also have the condos. See, my biggest thing with it is this is just going to be a VRBO Airbnb community. So people are next door.
You really think so?
I think so. I think if you Google, Airbnb Disney World and you look around, you're going to see a community that looks pretty much exactly like that. And they even have this big clubhouse. Gino, why, if you're doing a big residential area, why would you build this huge albatross of a building with a 2-lane bowling alley in it, an arcade on Nantucket, a barista bar, and all this other stuff? Because it's going to look great in the photos for an Airbnb. You know what I mean? So when you Google, when you go on the Airbnb, let's look at this rental. Oh, a bowling alley.
They're not planning to put a bowling.
They're saying they're putting 2, Gino, straight up. They say they're putting 2 bowling lanes, an arcade. That's going to work out. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but you can't tell people. People, if they want it, that's what they want, right?
But I'm convinced it's just for the photos, because if you do go try to rent a house on Airbnb, you do look at the photos.
Yeah, of course.
And so, you say, oh, wow, look at this big house. It's a big, it's going to be our own personal concierge.
Yeah,
with the bowling lane.
Right, close to the beach.
This is great. So but why else would you build this massive albatross of a building if you weren't planning on, what other function is it going to serve? It has a commercial kitchen in it too. So what are you going to do with the commercial kitchen unless you're planning on throwing
events there? And then the other thing is the traffic. This would have to become a rotary, wouldn't it? Obviously.
You know what? The whole traffic issue is just unreal. In the summertime, it is just way over the top. It's this is great right now.
Major road here for.
Oh yeah, exactly. You'd have to buy land, and it would be a major undertaking. And to be honest with you, living right here on the road, I don't think crossing the street or rotary is as safe as just the road like this with a stop sign.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it is.
Right.
And now with 2 young kids, I really think it's quite important.
Now, let's just drive down here. Let's talk about what else could be expanded down here. Let's not just talk
because
about
this isn't the only
Augie's
thing.
place
Because
right
Augie's been approved for a 40B that he's he could potentially build out as well. And so this is on the left-hand side over here with the large fence. So this could all be one large 40B project over here as well.
All of this over here. Yep.
Yep. This has been approved, right?
Well, he could do something else too, right?
Right. He's not.
And he's going to.
He is. Something is being done. If you keep driving down here, actually, it's quite a change from when I was a kid.
My gosh, I've done shows with Augie in here.
Yeah, Augie's great.
He's awesome.
Great. Another road down here. Nat Lowell's house is right back there.
Yeah, it is. I know where to find him now.
Yeah. He built out his property. So, now,
of course.
He's very pro-development.
Yes, he is.
Which, hey, that's everyone's right.
By the way, what do you think? Everybody should be allowed to have a pool?
I don't think that what would happen if everyone went down to the building department and everyone on island requested, said, all right, we need a pool at my house. They'd say, whoa, 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 not everyone can have a pool. This is going to destroy the island.
Will it?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But shouldn't
It's in 2001, Gino. This isn't going to ban pools on island. So what they're trying to do is, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of misinformation about this article, and I think you have to back up here.
Yeah, you're right.
So in 2011, they banned pools in the downtown area. I believe it was 2011, right? And people were all up in arms about it. This is gonna, destroy us. This is gonna whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same talk that's going on now. So it's going to count as ground coverage. So you can't have a big mega mansion, a big mega guest house, and a big mega pool, and a big mega pool house. Now you can have a little pool house, and a good pool, and a good sized guest house, and a mega mansion, because it's going to count as ground coverage. Another thing
you
is
like
with
that idea.
I do like that idea, because I think that we really need to protect our environment. I think Nantucket is being built out at an alarming rate, and I think we need to protect it. And I also believe that, the land rules are, the nature of land regulation is that it changes, it evolves as different problems in the community arises. So we need to change something. I also like the buffer idea. So right now you can literally go and put your pool right. You don't need any. You don't need any buffer from a property line. I'm sorry, setback.
Yeah.
So
right.
you can put it right on the edge.
Yeah.
So that's not really fair to your neighbors at all. You know what I mean? The noise. So our neighbor has a pool now, and you know what? Here's the music going. It's loud. It's the constant splashing. And it's not even close to the edge of our property, but still it is affected our backyard. And so, why not put in a little setback? If you have a little yard and a
Mm-hmm.
little house, sorry, like maybe it's not the perfect area to have a pool. Like I really do believe that people are buying up properties and turning spec properties out here, and they're looking into well, I'm also going to put a pool in here because that's easy money. And so what that's also doing is that's also exacerbating the housing problem out here. So now all these developers are buying more property, and they're we need to put in pools.
Well, because everyone wants a pool.
Everyone wants a pool because you can make more money on it in the rental industry.
Yeah.
They pay for themselves in one season pretty much, and then it's also great resale value. But at what cost to everyone else? What cost to the environment? You have people dumping the saltwater pools, right? Where are they dumping them? Where are they dumping them? They're not being trucked off anywhere. All the chlorine in these pools, they're not being trucked off anywhere, Gino. Mm-hmm. They're just being dumped out. So at what cost to the environment? You know what? A lot of people don't like the idea of it, but you know what? If you're going to have progress and you want to think about the future and you want to, have a sustainable environment and a sustainable community, then you need to make hard decisions, and not everything in life is going to be easy. Having housing, we need to do something about the people that we are even attracting to Nantucket in the current business boom.
That's a very good point.
All right? If we want to get serious about it, we need to get serious about it. Walter Beinecke used to say you can have quality or you can have quantity. All right? And then in the last 15 years, we have dropped the quality, and we have gone to the lowest denominator. The lowest common denominator that they have is money. If you have any sort of money, you can come down here and you can do anything you want as far as any of your building. And that's really true. If you even look at the planning department, like if you look at the planning board and the plus department, they didn't even know how many lots they had available left. Nope, next one. they didn't have any sort of data or information about really anything about this Nantucket. So when they're making these decisions about the planning department, they're just making, they were making it on, best guesses.
Yeah.
And there's really, I just really don't trust the town of Nantucket with $30 million, for affordable housing. I think that there are better ways to do it, and I think that trying to attract a better quality of, people to the island is where we need to start. And then all of a sudden, we don't need to be advertising and fine Washington, D.C., pamphlets. We can be, advertising in maybe environmental neighborhoods and environmental communities around America rather than just the wine them and dine them, because Nantucket really is an odd restaurant.
I know what you're saying, and it's not that I do agree with you, but I just don't see how you're going to change the psychology of people and the behavior.
Well,
I mean,
Gino,
look
it changed.
at what we're at.
Think about this one, Gino. It changed back from this old school, small town community. It changed from that philosophy to this philosophy, and it did that in about 15 years. And I think a lot of that was just because we had a lack of leadership.
But isn't it about money though, and getting what you want when you want it though?
And I think that money is a big problem. I think that with money, there's a lot of.
When you have money and you want something, you get it right away.
Oh, yeah,
there's no waiting for it. That's why when you have work at your house and you want to get it done, you don't care who works on your house. You don't even care if they're legal or not.
Right. It's just,
you just hire them and get it done.
I just want it done.
And because when it gets done, then you can have your friends over and they can see that you did it, and the dinner parties are a little more special.
You know, Gino, I would really hope that's
where we're at.
Right. Oh yeah.
Let's don't kid ourselves.
But
the pool is part of that.
The pool is part of that. But you know what? I don't think it's dead yet. I don't think Nantucket. I don't think the Gray Lady's dead yet.
Well, I mean, you're fighting a good fight, and I wish you guys well with it. And like you said, it's not over yet, right?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
We have meetings coming up. We're going to be posting some meetings more on Facebook, because the last turnout was pretty scarce. But right now, what's going on is now before they weren't giving really information, so there was not a lot to comment on, because they really weren't giving us anything to comment on. But now they really have to give us more information. So now it's actually more of the time to make the comments and to go, because now they're going to be coming up with a realistic plan, hopefully.
Okay.
And then, so now will be the time to go and make the comments. So
and try to get some changes in there.
Exactly.
That's really what you're at.
But I think
because it's going to get developed.
It's going to get developed.
You're just going to try to control it. But you guys have to come up with an idea on exactly what you want, don't you think?
If we come up, I really don't think that's... No, we haven't. Well, first of all, when we're talking with Feely or Posner, I mean, it's a difficult conversation. I mean, they are committed to the project. They really want to. I mean, they're just spewing the rhetoric.
But you know the project, so why don't you say, cut it by this much, and
they're
we might
not
be happy?
No, they're.
Have you tried?
Oh yeah, but I mean, not in the last couple of months, because I mean, you can only ask someone. You know what I mean? So many times before they,
But I think they're aware of the fact that they want to do. I'm sure.
Listen, if he wants to change his mind, that would be great. I mean, I think right now everyone is dragging Feely's name through the mud, and I think it's well deserved. But I mean, really, as I said to someone the other day, it's not over for Feely. He could come out and look great in this. I mean, look at A Christmas Story. What did the Scrooge get? Tiny Tim a ham, and everyone loved him. You know what I mean? He could really come out of this, and he could do the right thing and help us out.
Well, I don't know if he needs to do that.
But I mean, you know what I mean?
Do you think it would require that much to help you out?
Well, I mean, to start listening to the input, and start listening and saying, hey, you're right. We could do better than this. We could, really take the community into account. We could really.
I think that if you came up with an exact plan on what you'd like to see there.
But here's something that we all agree on, that there was not a group started to fight Satan's Path. We believed in Satan's Path. All right?
Yep.
We went down there. We said, we want this. The developer, okay. We want this. Okay, and we all kind of looked at each other, okay,
all right, so do
yeah,
so do that.
Well, we're trying.
Okay,
we're trying, and they're giving us plans of, opening up the sewer pipe 15 feet from my well.
Well, you might want to start with that one.
You may want to start with that. So I mean, it's there should be a little give and take, not just.
Of course.
There needs to be a little give and take.
All right. Well, listen, I got to go film a basketball game.
Gino, thank you, sir.
You got it, buddy. Thank you.
See you. Thank you
Always.
very much.
That was fun.
Yeah.